Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Velitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guroh Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vṛndāvaneshwari. Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Nama om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I am very grateful and honored and humbled by being present here in this great assembly of devotees in this country. Amidst this ocean of devotees, to present Krishna-kathā in front of so many exalted Vaishnavas and senior disciples of Prabhupada is not a small responsibility. I only was praying to Krishna, let me not waste the time of these Vaishnavas. They have come by sparing their valuable time, 3 days in this hot summer weekend. Let me just serve them properly to receive their blessings. My sincere and humble pranams to all the senior disciples of Śrīla Prabhupāda present here. My humble obeisances to all the Prabhus and Matajis here. My sincere greetings and welcome to all the children. I was told out of the 600 devotees, 150 are kids. 1/4 of the audience is children. Amongst them, much younger children are about 50, 60. They are in the temple. About 100 kids are sitting here, I was told. I have been seeing some of them in different cities in the recent past, last couple of weeks. But now I am seeing them again here. Second visit. Thank you so much, children, Prabhujis, Matajis, Prabhupada disciples, everyone. And I still have the memories of last year's Rasa Cintamani. I was half asleep in that Rasa Cintamani in jet lag and other things. But I still remember Tere kita dha, tere kita dha, tere kita dha. The way His Grace Amarendra Prabhu described Krishna's dance on Kaliya's hoods is still resounding in my ears. I was sitting there and hearing. So he wrote this Tere kita dha in my notes also. I have my notes here. Last year Rasa Cintamani notes. So thank you so much. I am very, very grateful to be present here. Thank you so much, Amarendra Prabhu, for such a beautiful inaugural talk, setting our mood to hear Krishna-kathā, and also giving the prelude to Govardhan-līlā by presenting the conversation between Krishna and Nanda Maharaj in such a sweet manner, getting so many details from Anand Vṛndāvana Champu, Gopal Champu, and many other sources. So very grateful to you for your katha and very eager to hear evening katha and tomorrow's katha. I primarily came here to hear, not to speak. Okay, but they have put me here as a humble servant. I am just honoring their request. I neither have the purity or capacity or even intent to speak, but I am just surrendering to the will of the Vaishnavas, and I need your blessings to do this service properly. So we were discussing what topic to present. Somehow we ended up Brahmā-vimohana-līlā. Last time it was Krishna-kathā by Amarendra Prabhu and Gauranga-kathā by me. This time it was supposed to be a swap, but somehow Amarendra Prabhu's heart is so pulled towards the Krishna's pastimes, and we both ended up in Krishna-līlā only. Of course, we'll touch Gaur-līlā also as the discussion takes us ahead. So we were thinking Brahmā-vimohana-līlā. One reason I chose this topic is this is the last chapter that Śrīla Prabhupāda has translated in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. From the next chapter, 14th chapter, His Divine Grace's loyal followers and disciples completed the responsibility of translating Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. But this is the last chapter that Prabhupada has translated. Of course, Śrīla Prabhupāda has already translated entire 10th canto of Bhagavatam in the form of Krishna book. But in this format of writing the shloka, then transliteration in English with diacritics, then word-to-word meanings and translation and purport. So in this format, standard format, Prabhupada translated this chapter in his Manifest Leela last. So we will discuss this. There are so many beautiful lessons in Brahmā-vimohana-līlā for a sadhaka. It's not only Brahmā-vimohana-līlā. We need to realize that at every stage in our sadhana bhakti, there is a possibility of we becoming illusioned. It is our Vimohana-līlā also. So we also have a tendency to get illusioned, distracted, allured, bewildered. If Brahma can be distracted, what to speak of a struggling sadhaka who is checking phone while chanting Hare Krishna, who is dozing off while chanting Hare Krishna, who has a tendency to criticize other sadhakas while chanting Hare Krishna, who has a tendency to sleep in Bhagavatam class or while reading Bhagavatam or hearing Bhagavatam. So there is every possibility of a struggling sadhaka to get distracted. So this Brahmā-vimohana-līlā humbles us and gives us a great caution note. Don't be overconfident in your bhakti. However seasoned you may be, however experienced we may be in practicing bhakti, there is every possibility of getting distracted. We will be seeing how Indra will get distracted. Prabhu will describe in the evening and tomorrow. And we are seeing Brahma getting distracted now. Brahma and Indra could get distracted. We are discussing about the aparadhas of two Vaishnavas in Rasa Cintamani this year. 2 episodes of Vaishnava aparadha in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. So most of the aparats in Vraja-Leela of Krishna are done by demons, but 2 aparats are done by devotees. One by Brahma, one by Indra. Somehow we ended up choosing these 2 topics for this Rasa Cintamani. So only demons don't commit offenses. Devotees also commit offenses. Even senior devotees also commit offenses. Even if you happen to be in heavenly planet, even if you are the king of heaven also, you can commit offense. Even if you are the creator of the universe also, there is a possibility of committing offenses to Krishna, to the devotees of Krishna. How can we be overconfident? So these 2 episodes of 10th canto Bhagavatam are supposed to humble us and make us more cautious in our practice of sadhana bhakti. Because one of the greatest obstacles in our bhakti is not just distraction in our chanting, not just distraction in our hearing. Of course, they are obstacles, but one of the greatest obstacles, one of the foremost and first obstacle in bhakti is offending Vaishnavas. So offenses. So Indra committed an offense, not to just one Vaishnava, to all the Vaishnavas, towards all the exalted devotees of Krishna in Vṛndāvana Dham, in Krishna's personal presence. Indra committed offense. Indra criticized the Vrajavasis. Indra criticized Krishna. Vachalam balisham stabdham agnam panditamaninam. So he was criticizing Krishna. He was criticizing Vrajavasis. These Vrajavasis are so proud. They are doing Deva Helanam. These Vrajavasis are so proud that they are deriding the authority of Devatas over them. They are disregarding our power, our influence. So Indra committed an offense, but somehow Indra's offense gave an opportunity to all the Vrajavasis to spend 1 full week with Krishna, isn't it? In the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Brahma compares his own offense with Indra's offense. Indra committed an offense, and that brought Krishna and the Vrajavasis together. And I committed an offense, and I separated Krishna and the Vrajavasis for 1 full year. Isn't it? So Brahma considers his offense more grave compared to Indra's offense. Although Indra never intended to serve Vrajavasis by bringing them closer to Krishna for 1 week, but somehow by Krishna's intervention, that offense committed by Indra became like a memorable episode, memorable 1 week in the life of Vrajavasis for all time to come. But in Brahma's case, Brahma separated Krishna and his beloved Gopa friends for 1 year. He considers his offense very grave. So whether it is small offense or big offense, offense is a great obstacle in bhakti. Whether we are senior devotee or junior devotee, Bhulokavasi or Svargalokavasi or Satyalokavasi, there is a possibility of getting distracted. There is a possibility of getting allured by Maya. So we are going to discuss that. Now, in the 12th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, there is a beautiful shloka. Samsara sindhumati dustara muttitirshor nanyah plavo bhagavatah purushottamasya Līlā kathā rasa nishevanamantarena pumso bhaved vivida dukkatavadritasya samsara sindhu matidustara muttitirshor. We are all in samsara sindhu. Sindhu means ocean. Samsara sindhu is this ocean of material existence. Atidustaram, very difficult to surpass this ocean of material existence, right? And we, caught up in this material existence, we are experiencing so many dukkhas. Vividha dukkha davardritasya. Vividha means multifarious. Dukkha means distresses. So many distresses, varieties of distresses. Financial problems, health problems, relationship problems, climate problems,
COVID problems, so many problems. Vividha dukkha, all flavors of distresses. Dava, davagnani means this being caught up in this, all these distresses is like being caught up in a forest fire. Ardritasya, we are anxious, we are suffering. Vividha dukkha davadritasya. But what is the possibility of crossing over this material existence? Uttitirshor. What is the way of overcoming these distresses and crossing this ocean of material existence? Nanyah plavo bhagavatah purushottabasya. Na anyah plavo means there is no other boat. Only a strong boat can help us cross over this material existence. And the one and only boat is Līlā kathā rasa nishevanam antarena. Līlā katha, rasa nishevanam. Please relish the rasa of all the Līlā kathas of Krishna. Krishna performed so many beautiful enchanting Leelas, especially in Vṛndāvana. And when you relish the rasa of all these Leelas, when you relish the sweet descriptions of all these Leelas, when you also learn from all the beautiful lessons that these Leelas are teaching us, then we will be able to cross over the material existence. Līlā kathā rasa nishevanam antarena pumso bhaved vidha dukkha davardritasya. So this 12th canto shloka teaches us that please take shelter of Krishna-kathā. Please take shelter of Hari-katha sincerely. That will take us across this ocean of material existence. All other things will not. When we immerse our minds in chanting the holy names of Krishna, when we absorb our consciousness in the pure nectarian descriptions of Krishna's Leelas, of course, Vraja Leelas. So, that absorption, that dedication, that sincerity in Shravanam and Kirtanam will help us cross over this material ocean. So, in the Rasa Cintamani, we are trying to do this Līlā kathā rasa nishevanam. Līlā kathā rasa nishevanam. Let's relish the rasa of all these Līlā kathas, Govardhan Līlā and Brahmā-vimohana-līlā. I definitely have to appreciate and congratulate all the youth who made these beautiful dioramas and pictures and cutouts for both the Leelas. One darshan is closed, another darshan came up now. Now evening, one more darshan. Govardhan is hiding behind Brahmā-vimohana-līlā now. Right? Thank you. I was told by Krishna-kathā Prabhu that youth are very enthusiastic to decorate this whole hall. There are clouds here, drops falling. Where are thunderbolts? Very beautifully decorated. Thanks to all the children and youth who decorated this. Thanks to Aditya Narayan Prabhu who sanctioned and empowered them and gave them full liberty to do what they wanted. Wherever he is, I offer my humble obeisances. So, I was just hearing some news before I started. Now, the 13th chapter of the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, as I said, is the last chapter translated by Śrīla Prabhupāda in his manifest earthly pastimes. And there is a beautiful shloka in the first canto, 18th chapter. When we see this picture where Śrīla Prabhupāda is lying on his bed, about to depart from this world and enter the spiritual world in just few days, in short time, still his disciples are holding a dictaphone and Prabhupada is giving Bhaktivedanta purports. See the dedication that he has towards the instructions of his spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. His guru told him to preach in English language and present this Vedic literature in a language that the whole world can understand. And Prabhupada is executing that instruction till the fag end of his life. Of course, he continues to live through his purports even till date. But during his manifest Leelas, even till his last days, he is doing the seva of translating Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So, the shloka is Nottama shloka vartanam jushatam tat kathamritam syat sambhramonta kalepi smaratam tat padambujam. Na uttama shloka vartanam jushatam tat kathamritam. One who is accustomed to relish the nectarian narrations of Krishna throughout one's life. Jushatam tat kathamritam, one who is dedicated to drink the nectar of Krishna-kathā through one's ear holes for whole life. Such people will not be bewildered. We are discussing Brahmā-vimohana-līlā, and we are also discussing the process of not getting bewildered. What protects us from the allurements of Maya? What protects us from being bewildered by all the temptations and tribulations presented by this material nature? This one. Smaratam tat padambujam, then jushatam tat kathamritam. When we are relishing Krishna kathamrita, that will protect us from bewilderment even at the time of death. Generally at the time of death, when we are dying. Many people meditate on the unfulfilled desires. Oh, I wanted to see my granddaughter getting married. I could not. My home is only 2 floors. I always wanted to live in the 3rd floor. The 3rd floor is pending. Or I wanted promotion, but somehow this disease came up and I'm leaving soon. So there are so many unfulfilled desires, and people meditate on those unfulfilled desires in their last days. And to fulfill those desires, they have to take another birth after an episode of suffering in hell. But one who is accustomed to prioritizing Krishna-kathā and hearing Krishna-kathā on a regular basis, Jushatam tat kathamritam, such people, syat sambhramo antakalepi. Even in antakala, even at the time of death, no sambhrama, no confusion, no bewilderment, no distraction. With complete focus, they remember Krishna's lotus feet. Smaratam tat padambujam. Smaratam tat padambujam. With clear consciousness, they will be able to meditate on the lotus feet of Krishna at the time of death to the degree they relished Krishna kathamritam throughout the life. Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram is not so easy. For that, for 8.5, formula 8.5, what is that? Antakale cha mameva, Bhagavad Gita 8.5. For antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram to happen, we need to follow 8.7. What is 8.7? Bhagavad Gita. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara yudhyacha mayyarpita mano buddhir mame vaishyasya samshayah. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu, at all times practice remembering Krishna. Mam anusmara. Remember Krishna. Of course, yudhyacha. You perform your duties also. Arjuna was a warrior, he has to fight. Your children, you have to study. You have to go to school and study. And your parents, they have to go to job. You do your duties. Whichever varna you belong to, whichever ashram you belong to, you perform your duties. Jnane prayasa udapasya namanta yeva jivanti sanmukharitam bhavadiya vartha sthane sthitah. Continue to do what you are doing. But practice remembering Krishna. And that remembrance of Krishna is possible by hearing about Krishna. If you don't hear about Krishna, if you don't practice remembering Krishna, what happens is sambhramo antakalepi. At the time of death, we will think of so many things. Yam vapi smaran bhavam. If we don't follow 8.7 formula, 8.5 will not manifest in our life. 8.6 will manifest. Yam vapi smaran bhavam chajityante kalevaram. If you hear Krishna-kathā, if you practice remembering Krishna, then at the time of death, we will meditate on the Krishna's lotus feet and reach Krishna. If that doesn't happen, then yam vapi smaran bhavam. We remember a deer, we'll become a deer. We remember a car, we'll become a car. We'll end up in a life where we need to get a car to fulfill that one desire. Every single unfulfilled desire is a seed for another life. One more life. if only I had become like this, if only I had this, if only I had this. All these if onlys, they are creating seeds for next lives. But Śrīla Prabhupāda, whole life he has dedicated to Krishna-kathā. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam. He is one of the foremost Bhuridas in our universal spiritual history. Right? Bhurida janaha. Bhuvi grinanti ye. Bhurida janaha. He was broadcasting the glories of Krishna, the glories of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam all over the world. And we are going to discuss the last chapter that he has translated for all of us. The story begins like this. With that little prelude, let's get into the story. So, it was Balarāma Jayantī day, and Krishna had an adventure on Balarāma Jayantī day. What was the adventure? He entered Aghāsura, and later Aghāsura entered him. Right? He entered Aghāsura because he was following the footsteps of his devotees. He was following the movements of his Gopa boy friends. All the Gopa boys became so excited seeing this open, wide mouth of Aghāsura, thought that it is a beautiful mountain cave, and they became very curious to explore the cave, and they went deep inside the cave. Although Krishna is trying to call them, please come back, please come back. No, they did not listen. They entered the cave, and Krishna also had to enter that cave. Cave means Aghāsura's mouth. There he expanded his body, and he came out of the body after destroying this Aghāsura's body. Then Aghāsura's soul entered into Krishna's body. Krishna entered Aghāsura, later Aghāsura entered Krishna. I will not speak Aghāsura pastime more than this, because our story is Brahmā-vimohana-līlā. And if you want to hear more details of Aghāsura episode, you hear the 1 month long lectures of Amarendra Prabhu, which he gave. He spoke for 30 days on this one pastime, on Putana pastime, on the 10th canto, 8th chapter, on Venu-gita. My God, so much of absorption in Harikatha. So, on Balarāma Jayantī day, Balarāma was kept back. He was not allowed to enter the forest. So, Rohini Mata and all the elders in their home, they are celebrating Balarāmaji's birthday, and they were giving some charity. Balarāma had to give some charity. Then Krishna, now that supervision was not there. Balarāma was constantly supervising the activities of Krishna, but in Balarāmaji's absence, Krishna can become more naughtier. Right? He can jump into Kaliya lake when Balarāma is not there. He can enter Aghāsura's mouth when Balarāma is not there. Krishna plays with snakes when Balarāma, the source of Anantasesh, is not there. Oh, that snake is not with me, let me play with some more snakes. Right? So Kaliya episode and Aghāsura episode, all the python and snake episodes happen in the absence of Balarāma, interestingly. But at least Kaliya episode, Balarāmaji came to know later, on the same day. When Krishna was caught in the coils of Kaliya, somehow an old man ran into the village and informed all the Vrajavasis, please come, Krishna is in some danger. Then Balarāmaji also came. He said, Rohini Mata, please, I need to go from home. Let me go and see Krishna. He is in some danger. So that's how Balarāmaji came and saw Krishna caught in the coils of Kaliya on the same day. But what Balarāma did, what Krishna did in this Aghāsura episode, Balarāmaji could not know for 1 full year. 1 full year. It's a mystery to Balarāma also. Is it Brahmā-vimohana-līlā or Balarāma-vimohana-līlā? Even Balarāma is also bewildered for 1 full year. And not just Balarāma, even all the Vrajavasis are in that bewilderment. It's in a transcendental bewilderment under the influence of Krishna's Leela Shakti or Yoga Maya. Nobody could understand what Krishna did for 1 year. So after this episode, all these boys, these young boys, whenever some Leela happens, they immediately come back home and they inform their parents. All the little Gopa boys, they come back to their in the evening and they inform their father and mother, you know, my dear father, Krishna was swallowed by a great crane. Initially we thought that it's like a white mountain, some Kailasha mountain manifested in Vraja. We thought like that. But it's not a mountain, it's a crane. And that crane came and swallowed Krishna. And Krishna entered the mouth and we all fainted. But after some time we realized that Krishna came out of the mouth and he bifurcated the beak of Aghāsura and killed him. And another time, another demon came in the form of a calf. Nobody could detect. None of us could detect that there is a calf which doesn't belong to our herd. But Krishna could detect that calf. So Krishna went and caught the hind legs of the calf and twirled him around and threw him on the kapita tree. And all the kapita fruits fell down and we ate. With the weight of that body of this Vatsasur, so many kapita fruits fell down and we ate. So like that, all these little boys, 3-4-year-old boys, they would narrate all the demon killing pastimes of Krishna in the evening. Generally, parents speak stories to children and make them sleep. But in Vṛndāvana, in the evening time, kids speak stories to parents. Still, parents only have to make them sleep. I'll hear the story tomorrow, you sleep. You continue this way. Right? So that's how all the Gopa boys spend their evenings. Whole day they spend time with Krishna. They participate in so many leelas with Krishna. They dance like peacocks. They jump like frogs. They do all kinds of mischief like monkeys. And they fly like butterflies. They imitate butterflies. They imitate all kinds of forest animals. They go to the wells there and speak some Vrajagalis. And when the resound comes, they enjoy, they laugh, they smile, and they come back and they narrate all these pastimes to their parents. And the parents are happily hearing, oh, what happened next? What happened next? While dressing the kids, while bathing the kids, while feeding these little morsels of food into their mouths, all these mothers are hearing this Krishna-kathā spoken by these little boys. All the fathers are hearing Krishna-kathā spoken by these little boys. That's how Vṛndāvana evenings are. Sometimes these boys, they miss Krishna so much. So in the evening time, when they come back, Krishna has to go to Nanda Maharaj's home. Yashoda Mata is waiting there along with Rohini Mata with an arti plate to receive Krishna. She shows that arti to every limb of Krishna's body and embraces Krishna. And sometimes she's confused. She's bewildered. Yashoda-vimohana. What is the source of her confusion? She thinks, Krishna, where should I hide you? Every day morning I'm sending you to the forest. That moment is like my heart is leaving me. My soul is leaving me. My life is leaving me. I wait for this moment of receiving you back at home in the evening. Now she embraces Krishna, kisses Krishna, does arti to Krishna, and she says, where should I hide you? Should I put you in my heart? Should I put you in my belly back? Should I take you back into my belly? I want to hold you in my belly. I don't want to leave you anywhere. So like that, Yashoda Mata is taking over. Now she missed Krishna whole day, from morning to evening. Now it is Yashoda Mata's turn to serve Krishna, feed Krishna, bathe Krishna, dress Krishna, decorate Krishna, feed him and make him sleep, and whole night spend time with Krishna. But the Gopa boys, they are in imminent separation. These Gopas, sometimes, when they are in separation, they discuss Krishna-kathā. They narrate all the beautiful, sweet pastimes, games, and demon-killing activities of Krishna to their parents. But when with great difficulty, when they enter sleep, they don't have jet lag, but still they enter. It's difficult for them to enter sleep. So in the middle of the night, they get up. They come to Mother Yashoda's home. They knock the door. Thak, thak, thak. Yashoda Mata opens the door. And these kids are there. These little kids are there. They say, Krishna, come. Let's go to the forest. It's time for us to go to the forest. Pack your lunchbox. Yashoda Mata says, it's middle of the night. I cannot send Krishna now. You need to wait till the morning, till sunrise. Then I will send you. Please go back, go back. Let me sleep. Let Krishna sleep. You also sleep. Yashoda Mata sends them away. It's like that. All the Gopas are accustomed to discussing Krishna-kathā throughout the day. Throughout the night, the Gopis are discussing. And in Krishna's absence, all the Gopis are gathering in small groups. And they are discussing about Krishna. There is Venu Gita. There is Yugala Gita also. In Yugala Gita, what happens is, sometimes the Madhurya Gopis and Vatsalya Gopis, both of them come together and they discuss about Krishna, Krishna's flute song. So constant Krishna-kathā is going on, Prajalpa, as Prabhu said this morning. Constant Harikatha is going on. And that Harikatha protects them from all tribulations. See this beautiful shloka. Iti nandadayo gopaha Krishna Rama katha muda kurvanto ramamanascha navindan bhava vedanam. Iti nandadayo gopaha. All these gopas headed by Nanda Maharaj, what are they doing every day? Krishna Rama katha muda. They are discussing Krishna's pastimes, Balarāma's pastimes. Muda, with great happiness. Krishna gave us an instruction in the Bhagavad Gita. What was the instruction? Bodhayantaha parasparam. Macchitta madgata prana bodhayantaha parasparam. Kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. That's an instruction given by Krishna to all the sādhaka bhaktas. But these siddhas, Nitya Siddha Parshadas of Krishna, they're actually acting on that plane. Whether we are doing Bodhayanta Parasparam or not, not sure. Whether we are implementing that instruction of Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha, Parasparanu Kathanam, not sure. But definitely the Vrajavasis are constantly doing it. Every day they are doing it. Whether it is the Vatsalya Gopis revising and recollecting all the butter stealing pastimes of Krishna in front of Mother Yashoda, or these young Gopa boys, they are narrating all the pastimes of Krishna that he performed in the forest throughout the day in front of their parents. Constant Harikatha is going on in Vṛndāvana. Constant Krishna-kathā. Only when we implement this instruction of Krishna, only when we try our best to absorb our minds and consciousness and words in Krishna-kathā on a regular basis, then kurvanto ramamanascha navindam bhavavedanam. That bhavavedana will not touch us. Navindam bhavavedana means one who is accustomed to enjoy Krishna-kathā, relish Krishna-kathā, they don't experience material tribulations. They exist, but they don't affect us. Devotees are not overwhelmed by material tribulations to the degree they absorb their minds in Krishna-kathā. This is not only for sadhakas. Even in Vṛndāvana also, every single day, some demon is coming and attacking the peace of Vṛndāvana. Every day. Some demon is coming and attacking. The Vrajavasis, Krishna, Balarāma, and the peace of Vṛndāvana is disturbed. Aghāsura, Vatsāsura, Vyomasura, Arishtāsura, Putana, oh my God. Trinavarta, Keshi, Vyomasura, so many are coming and disturbing the peace of Vṛndāvana. But see what the Bhagavatam line says. Navindam bhavavedanam. They are not experiencing any distress. Now these parents are sending their kids into the forest every day in the morning. Not sure whether they will return or not. So every day some demon is attacking. How insecure is that ambience? In such intense ambience of insecurity, fear, these people, Vrajavasis, are happy. They're unaffected. They're never overwhelmed. What gives them so much of hope, solace, confidence? How is it even possible? See, yesterday one demon attacked Krishna in the forest. And all the Vrajavasis came to know, Nanda Maharaj came to know, Yashoda Mata also came to know. What is the confidence that Mother Yashoda has to send Krishna again to the forest the next day? Will that happen ever? In our lives at least. If something undesirable happens in the school today, next day will the parents send the kid to the school? Difficult, very difficult. If something undesirable happens in the office today, tomorrow will you be inspired to go to the office? But it's not something unpleasant or undesirable. Attack on their lives. But every day all the Gopas and the Gopis, elderly Gopas and elderly Gopis, they are just sending. They are sending their children, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old kids to the forest. That is the mood of Vṛndāvana. In Vṛndāvana, by default, Yatra naisarga durvairaha sahasan rubragadeha. There is no envy in Vṛndāvana. There is no hatred in Vṛndāvana. There is only pure love and affection in Vṛndāvana. There is only prioritizing Krishna's pleasure in Vṛndāvana. That is their constant absorption. They are absorbed in that consciousness. Therefore, there is no fear. There is no insecurity. There is no anxiety. It's like the supreme Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means a place which is devoid of any anxieties. But the supreme Vaikuntha is Vṛndāvana. But in this Bhoma Vṛndāvana, there are calamities every day. But despite the constant, consistent, perpetual existence of so many calamities, these Vrajavasis are not experiencing them. They are not getting overwhelmed by them. They are unaffected by them. Why? Krishna-kathā muda. For Navindam Bhavavedanam to happen, we should be Krishna-kathā, Krishna-kathā muda. To the degree we absorb our minds in the pastimes of Krishna and Balarāma, to that degree we remain unaffected by the tribulations and temptations and allurements and difficulties and anxieties of this material world. Because constant discussion about Krishna, whether it is Krishna's glorious pastimes and his majestic pastimes or his sweet pastimes of Rajalila, constant discussion about Krishna gives us hope and reassurance that Krishna is my protector. And reminds us that this is not our home, that is our home. The more we discuss about Krishna's Vṛndāvana pastimes or any other beautiful pastimes of Krishna, the more we are dwelling our consciousness in the spiritual world. Oh, the master of the spiritual world, Krishna, has his own abode. In the abode, such sweet pastimes happen. And I have an opportunity to go to that abode. So even if something happens in this abode, this material abode, doesn't matter, it's okay. We become detached. We don't take it so seriously. We don't get overwhelmed, right? So to not become overwhelmed or to remain unaffected or to remain aloof of all these material tribulations, we need to constantly hear Krishna-kathā. We need to regularly hear Krishna-kathā. Only that regular absorption in Krishna-kathā, Krishna's glories, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's nama, rupa, guna, lila, will help us rise above this material consciousness, will make us remain unaffected by material tribulations. So these people, Vrajavasis, they are constantly discussing about Krishna and Balarāma. Now let's see what Prabhupada says here. Vyasadeva has given this literature so that everyone may understand one's transcendental position simply by discussing Bhagavata Katha. So Vyasadeva gave us this, Prabhupada quotes these slokas from first canto, fourth chapter. Yasyam vai suryamanayam Krishne paramapurushe anarthopasamam sakshat bhakti yoga madhokshaje. So after quoting the slokas, Prabhupada writes in the purport, Vyasadeva has given this literature so that everyone may understand one's transcendental position simply by discussing Bhagavata Katha. The more we discuss Bhagavata Katha, the more we realize that we are transcendental to these bodies, transcendental to this world. We become aware of or become conscious of our own spiritual existence. We will not be overwhelmed by our material existence now. I may be a man or a woman or an Indian or an American or a brahmachari or a grahastha in this world, but that's temporary. That's temporary. To become aware of our own transient condition at this moment, we need to discuss Bhagavad Katha more. And even at the present moment, everyone, everywhere can be happy and free from material tribulations by following Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We can be happy and we are freed from all the Bhava Vedana by discussing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. There is no need of austerities and penances, which in this age are very difficult to perform. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore declared Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. By our Krishna consciousness movement, we are trying to distribute Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam so that anyone in any part of this world can be absorbed in the Krishna consciousness movement by chanting and hearing about the activities of Krishna and be free from all material tribulations. Prabhupada adds distribution of Bhagavatam also here. What is the target this year? I don't know. 100,008 Bhagavatam sets. Hari Hari. And by distributing so many sets of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and also distributing what is there inside those sets, the message of Krishna consciousness, we are helping people free from material tribulations, and we are helping ourselves also to become aloof from material tribulations. We cannot stop rain, but we can take an umbrella. You cannot stop heat, but you can take fans. I can see so many fans here. You cannot stop heat, but you have fans to do like this. Right? Similarly, we cannot undo the nature of this material world. We cannot stop the tribulations in this world, but we can remain aloof. We can remain, not get overwhelmed by these difficulties to the degree we hear Krishna-kathā. So now let's get into the pastime. We briefly saw Aghāsura episode. And after Aghāsura episode, all these boys, Gopa boys, they are supposed to come back to homes and discuss about these pastimes to their parents, right? That's what we discussed so far. All these Gopa boys, after having witnessed Krishna's demon killing pastimes every day, they would come back and give a long report to their parents. They will narrate. Krishna must have killed the demon in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But hundreds and thousands of boys are narrating this 5-10 minutes of pastime to their parents for hours together till they sleep. Right? They have their own perspective. Each boy relishes one facet of that pastime, one mood of that, one angle of that pastime. Probably when Krishna is killing a demon, one boy standing there must have seen that killing from that angle. Another boy is here, he must have seen from this angle. Another boy is there, he must have seen from that angle. Maybe one boy is sitting on the tree and they must have seen from that angle. Everybody is discussing their own angle, their own perspective, their own lesson. Thus Krishna-kathā becomes unlimited. So Hari-katha is done by the Gopa boys. And the audience for their katha is their own parents. But somehow that Hari-katha did not happen after Krishna killed Aghāsura. It happened only after 1 year. After 1 year only these boys started narrating these pastimes. Aghāsura pastime to their parents. So Parīkṣit Maharaj became very curious. He asked, "Oh, Śukadeva Gosvāmī, thank you so much for narrating all these beautiful leelas, Krishna's Vraja leelas. I have a question." What's the question? Why did these Gopa boys take 1 full year to narrate Aghāsura Vadha leela? Why did they not narrate this pastime to their parents on the very same day? Why there is 1 year gap? Can you please explain? That's the seed of Brahmā-vimohana-līlā. That question. And by the way, just to have a little detour, once Narada Muni had a podcast with Krishna in Dwaraka about Vṛndāvana. Okay. Then Krishna revealed his heart to Narada Muni. He said, "Narada Muni, of all my devotees at all places, Vrajavasis are my favorite devotees. All my devotees love me, serve me, but the way Vrajavasis serve me, the way Vrajavasis love me is unparalleled. They are my best devotees. And my interactions with the Vrajavasis, my pastimes with the Vrajavasis are not easily understood by many people. They cannot be described by so many people. Very rarely, some rare soul will have the capacity or ability or inspiration to describe my Vraja leelas. And let me predict now, in future, one devotee of mine will elaborately describe my Vṛndāvana pastimes. And that devotee is Śukadeva Gosvāmī. Before even Śukadeva Gosvāmī narrated Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Krishna predicted, and through that prediction, Krishna empowered Śukadeva Gosvāmī to speak Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, especially Vraja leelas. Śukadeva Gosvāmī is that empowered speaker of Krishna's Vṛndāvana pastimes. Krishna personally mentioned this to Narada Muni. It comes somewhere in Bhagavatamrita, 7th chapter of 1st volume, 7th or 6th, I think 7th chapter. 7th chapter, towards the end, climax. So Śukadeva Gosvāmī is that empowered speaker. Although Vyasadeva wrote these pastimes, and he also taught these pastimes to his son Śukadeva Gosvāmī. But when Śukadeva Gosvāmī is narrating these pastimes of Krishna in Vṛndāvana, Vyasadeva was sitting in the audience and hearing as if he is hearing for the first time. He did not say, I only wrote. I only taught him. I wrote and taught. He was not thinking like that. He is like, Gurum Munina. You know that shloka? Yahasvanubhavamakila shruti saramekam adhyatma deepamatititirashatam tamondham samsarinam karunayah purana guhyam tam vyasa sunumupayami gurum muninam yahasvanubhavamakila shruti saramekam. After having personally experienced, assimilated, absorbed and realized all these pastimes of Krishna, out of his compassion, Śukadeva Gosvāmī is narrating these pastimes, especially Vrajalilas. After having been personally empowered by Krishna, Śukadeva Gosvāmī is narrating these pastimes. And Gurum Muninam, his guru, Vyasadeva, is sitting in Śukadeva Gosvāmī's class and hearing as if he is hearing for the first time. And his Parama Guru, Narada Muni, was sitting in Śukadeva Gosvāmī's class and hearing as if he is hearing for the first time. That's Śukadeva Gosvāmī, empowered representative of Krishna, empowered speaker of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Now, that Śukadeva Gosvāmī is being questioned by Parīkṣit Maharaj. Parīkṣit Maharaj asks, Śukadeva Gosvāmī, can you please tell me this? Very important point. Why did the Gopa boys take 1 full year to narrate Aghāsura pastime? And after asking this question, Parīkṣit Maharaj acknowledges his own good fortune of being the student of Śukadeva Gosvāmī. Parīkṣit Maharaj was sitting in the audience and says, Śukadeva Gosvāmī, you are very, very fortunate. Vayam dhanyatama loke guropi kshatra bandhava vayam pibamo muhustatva punyam Krishna-kathāmritam. Vayam dhanyatama loke. Dhanyatama. We are very, very fortunate. Dhanya, dhanyatara, dhanyatama. Superlative. We are extremely fortunate. Guropi kshatra bandhava. Finally, we got to hear from you, although I am a kshatra bandhava. I am an unqualified kshatriya. Brahma-bandhu sitismaham bahubhyam parirambhitaha. Sudama considered himself a Brahma-bandhu. Parīkṣit Maharaj is considering himself Kshatra Bandhu. Brahma Bandhu is unqualified Brahmana, Kshatra Bandhu is unqualified Kshatriya. Although they are very qualified Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, they are considering themselves unqualified. That humility is the qualification to hear and understand Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And that humility is the most important lesson in Brahmā-vimohana-līlā. In the Brahmā-vimohana-līlā, when Brahma was not humble, when Brahma was proud, he could not understand Krishna's Vraja pastimes. He could not understand the glory of Krishna or glory of Vṛndāvana. But when Brahma became humble, then he understood everything. Right? Humility gives us access to understanding of Krishna-kathā, Krishna's pastimes. So, Parīkṣit Maharaj is so humble. He says, Vayam dhanyatama loke guropi kshatra bandhava Vayam pibamo muhustatvaha punyam Krishna-kathāmritam. We are so fortunate, although we are so unqualified, ineligible to hear such wonderful, amazing pastimes, we got to hear from you by your grace, O Lord. So we should think that I am not qualified to receive this knowledge, but they are merciful enough to reveal this knowledge. Guru is merciful to reveal this knowledge of Bhagavatam. It's not that disciple thinks of himself qualified enough to receive that knowledge. Although we have no qualification to receive, they have the compassion to reveal. And that revelation is our qualification. Their compassion is our qualification. Not that we are qualified. We should never think that we are qualified to hear 10th canto pastimes. We are qualified to hear all the finer nuances of Vrajalilas. We are not qualified. By Prabhupada's grace, by Śukadeva Gosvāmī's grace, by Vyasadeva's grace, we are given some access to it. Otherwise, where is qualification? If Parīkṣit himself the foremost student of Śukadeva Gosvāmī, if he thinks of himself unqualified, what to speak of us, right? So, Parīkṣit Maharaj is going to die in few days. He had 1 week to live. Within 1 week, by the time 10th canto, 13th chapter came, maybe I don't know exactly how many days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, some majority, half of his time is passed. Within just couple of days, he is going to depart from this world. But it's very curious why the Gopa boys took 1 full year to narrate Aghāsura pastime. Śukadeva Gosvāmī narrated already, right? Śukadeva Gosvāmī narrated Aghāsura pastime, so Parīkṣit Maharaj heard. But why is he so curious when these Gopa boys narrated this pastime to their parents? He's so curious about that. So when we are very much absorbed in a Leela, we want to understand even the more small, minute details also. That attention to details is a symptom of love and affection, right? So Parīkṣit Maharaj is not thinking that, anyways, I heard the pastime. Śukadeva Gosvāmī narrated it. Next pastime. Okay, what's next? What's the next chapter? I keep doing that in Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav classes, courses. We have to do that. But Parīkṣit Maharaj is not like that. Although he has only few days to live, but still, Parīkṣit Maharaj is curious. I want to know why there is 1 year gap. Because he understands what truly matters. What is more important for me to understand now? Not that when his Takshaka is going to come, what will happen after he bites me. That's not the mood. His mood is, I want to understand every small detail, especially of Vrajalilas. So when we prioritize bhakti, everything else remains insignificant. There's a beautiful shloka. Tvad bhaktaha saritam patim chulukavad khadyotavad bhaskaram. Tvad bhaktaha saritam patim chulukavad khadyotavad bhaskaram. Merum pashyati lostravat kivaparam bhumeh patim bhrtyavat. Cintaratna chayam shila sakalavat kalpadrumam kashthavat. Samsaram trunarasivat kimaparam deham nijam bharavat. Sorry for delaying Brahmā-vimohana-līlā. You may be thinking, he's entering the story and then again getting into philosophy. I don't know, I'm a little tempted. So, he says, Tvad bhaktaha, those who have devotion unto Krishna, their priority is to understand Krishna. Get absorbed in Krishna's nama rupa guna lila. Everything else doesn't matter to them. Everything else is yahobahya. See, Saritam patim chulukavat. What is Saritam pati? Sarita means river. Saritam pati is king of rivers or the ocean, right? A big river or an ocean. Chulukavat. For a devotee who is absorbed in Krishna-kathā, everything else doesn't matter. Even a great ocean looks like a drop of water for him. Saritam patim chulukavat. Second point. Khadyotavad bhaskaram. Bhaskara means sun, shining sun, especially in the midday. He is like a khadyota for a devotee. He doesn't get impressed by seeing the sunlight. Oh, it's like a khadyota. Khadyota means a firefly. Third, Merum pashyati lostravat kivaparam bhumeh patim bhrtyavat. Merum pashyati lostravat. Even a Meru Parvata, Mount Meru also is like a small lump of matter, lump of earth for him. Next, bhumeh patim bhrtyavat. Bhumipati is a king. Even a great king is also like a small servant. Bhrtya is like an attendant. Yes, that's all. It doesn't matter. First is, ocean appears like a small drop of water. Sun appears like a firefly. A great Meru mountain appears like a small lump of earth. And king appears like a servant. Cintaratna chayam shila sakalavat kalpadrumam kashthavat. Fifth, Cintaratna means Cintamani gems. Chintaratna chayam shilasa kalavat. Even if you give, so many Cintamani gems to this devotee, they are like stones, pebbles for him. Kalpadramam kashtavat. Kalpadrama means a desire fulfilling tree. It's like a kashta. You know what is kashta? Small piece of wood. That's all. Then samsaram trunavasivat kimaparam deham nijam bharavat. Even this great samsara, this big material existence, appear like a tranarasi, a pile of grasses, blade of grass. That's all. And deham nijam bharavat. One's own deha, one's own body is like a big burden for him. Parīkṣit Maharaj is about to give up his deha, his body, within a couple of days. But it doesn't matter to him. All these excitements of this material world, all these wonders of this world do not matter to a devotee. This morning in the class, Prabhu was quoting Nanayaka prishtham na chaparameshtham na sarvabhaum na rasadhipatyam na yoga siddhir apunarbhavam va samanjasatva virahaya kankshe. Means any exalted position in all the 14 planetary systems in this material existence is insignificant to a devotee. For him, hearing about Krishna is priority. Chanting Krishna's names is priority. Serving Vaishnavas is priority. Bhakti is priority. Tvad bhaktaha. All these 8 kinds of perceptions or understanding is not possible for anyone, not for a karmi. It's not a karmi or gnani or yogi. Tvad bhaktaha. Only devotees consider all material excitements insignificant in comparison to understanding Krishna, knowing Krishna. He's about to die, but he's asking this question. And Śrīla Prabhupāda was about to depart from this world. He's translating Bhagavatam. We saw some time back. When Prabhupada was about to depart from this world, his focus is on translating Bhagavatam. When Parīkṣit is about to depart from this world, his focus is on hearing Bhagavatam. So, this is priority. Hearing Bhagavatam is priority. At least we'll prioritize it during the lifetime. Then we'll be able to prioritize at the time of death. So, Śukadeva Gosvāmi's response here. He says, Sadhu prishtam mahabhaga tvaya bhagavatottama yannutanasya shesha Śrīṇvan api kathām muhuhu. Sadhu prishtam mahabhaga. Oh, greatly fortunate Parīkṣit Maharaj. Sadhu prishtam. You asked a beautiful question. Wonderful question you asked. What was the question? Why did the Gopas delay 1 year to narrate Aghāsura Līlā? Right? Good question. Excellent question. Tvaya bhagavatottama. Because you are bhagavatottama, you are the best of all Bhagavata devotees, you are able to ask such beautiful questions. All questions about Krishna are valid questions, relevant questions, good questions. Sadhu prashna. Yat Krishna yat kritaha Krishna samprashno yenatma suprasidati. Right? So even questions about Krishna are also very satisfying to the heart. What to speak of answers? Right? Even if you don't know the answer, if you happen to have a question about Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Leela in your mind, that satisfies you. You are curious about Krishna. You want to know about Krishna. Once, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, once Pradyumna Mishra went to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he asked, Mahaprabhu, I'm little curious to know something. What is that? I want to hear Krishna-kathā. Then Mahaprabhu immediately said, Bhagyavan to me, you are extremely fortunate because you became interested to hear Krishna-kathā. The greatest fortune is an inclination to hear Krishna-kathā. That's the greatest fortune. So here, Parīkṣit Maharaj also is being appreciated by Śukadeva Gosvāmī. You are a sadhu. You are very fortunate because you became very curious to understand Krishna's pastimes. I offer my humble obeisances to our guest Urmila Mataji. Hare Krishna. So Parīkṣit Maharaj is appreciating the question of, Śukadeva Gosvāmī is appreciating the question of Śrīla Parīkṣit Maharaj. He says, Nityam Navanavayam Manam. Prabhupada comments on this purport. Even though advanced devotees hear continually about the Lord for years, they still feel that these topics are coming to them as newer and fresher. Therefore, such devotees cannot give up hearing of the pastimes of Lord Krishna. How many of you heard Govardhan-līlā in your life so far? How many? Kids are also raising. Kids are raising hands more. How many of you heard Brahmā-vimohana-līlā? More than once. More than twice. How many of you heard Kalya-līlā? Still 600 devotees came here to hear the same stories that we already have heard and probably narrated also several times. That's the power of Krishna-kathā. The more we hear, the newer are the perspectives. No, you see there is a diamond or a small prism, you see. You take that prism and then start moving it under sunlight. So many colorful rays come out of it, right? So you keep seeing it in multiple angles, you will see multiple colors. Similarly, every shloka of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, every pastime of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam will reveal newer and newer meanings, newer and newer insights to us when we hear them repeatedly. Same pastime is being spoken, is being heard hundreds of times, thousands of times. Every Kartik, we hear Damodar-līlā. We hear Govardhan-līlā. Every Kartik. But next Kartik, we are ready to hear it again, to speak again. Right? And in fact, all these pastimes are meant to attract our consciousness towards Krishna. Iti driksvalila bhirananda kunde svaghosham nimajjantam akhyapayantam tadiyeshitagneshu bhaktarjitatvam punah prematastam shatavritti vande. Iti driksvalila bhir ananda kunde. By performing these beautiful pastimes, what is Krishna doing? Svaghosham nimajjantam akhyapayantam. He is immersing his devotees in pools of ecstasy. Ananda Kunda is pools of ecstasy or lakes of bliss. Krishna is immersing all his devotees in pools of ecstasy by performing these pastimes. And the more we hear them, the more we relish them, the more we become Krishna conscious. Now, Śukadeva Gosvāmī further says, Satamayam sarabhritam nisargo yadarthavani shruti cetasamaphi pratikshanam navyavadachyutasya yat striyavitanam iva sadhuvarta. Sarabhrita means essence-seeking devotees. Satamayam sarabhritam nisargo. There are devotees who are always constantly seeking essence. So these essence-seeking devotees, they absorb their minds and hearts and ears in Krishna-kathā. Just as striyavitanam iva sadhuvarta. Just like materialistic people are absorbed in discussions about the opposite gender for sense enjoyment, similarly, devotees are absorbed in discussing Krishna's pastimes. So Parīkṣit Maharaj's question inspired Śukadeva Gosvāmī to appreciate him in this way. So we are supposed to absorb our minds in sadhuvarta. Sadhuvarta means activities connected to Krishna, or discussions about Krishna's pastimes. So you get absorbed in that narrations. Then further, Śukadeva Gosvāmī says, Parīkṣit Maharaj, you know what is your qualification to understand these pastimes? You may become curious to understand something, to know something, but that curiosity is not sufficient. So you should also have the qualities of submissiveness and humility. Many people are curious in this world, but curiosity doesn't give the qualification to understand Krishna-kathā. Submissiveness gives the qualification. Curiosity is not the qualification, submissiveness and humility is the qualification to hear Krishna-kathā. All the finer, deeper insights of Krishna's pastimes are revealed to someone who has humility at heart. Parikshit Maharaj, Śukadeva Gosvāmī says, Srunusvāvahito rajan api guhyam vadamite brūyuh snigdhasya sishyasya guravo guhyam apyuta. Because you are humble at heart, you are very submissive, you are very receptive, you are very well cultured. Brūyuh snigdhasya sishyasya. You have affection for your Guru. Guru is obliged to reveal all the guhya, all the confidential secrets of Krishna's pastimes to you. Same glorification comes in the first canto also. So basically, Parikshit Maharaj is not only acquiring knowledge from Śukadeva Gosvāmī, he has affection for Śukadeva Gosvāmī. And Śukadeva Gosvāmī is not only revealing some information to Parikshit Maharaj, Śukadeva Gosvāmī is doing it with affection. Right? So, it's not that a teacher, a spiritual teacher, reveals information or knowledge to a disciple. And it's not that a disciple or a student just acquires information from a spiritual teacher. The relationship between Guru and disciple is affection. Affectionately, Śukadeva Gosvāmī is revealing all these deeper meanings of Krishna's pastimes, and Parikshit Maharaj also has affection for Śukadeva Gosvāmī and is receiving. Snigdhasya sishyasya brūyuh snigdhasya sishyasya guravo guhyam apyuta. When there is affection, even guhya, even secret and most confidential truths of Krishna's pastimes are revealed to such a disciple. And Parikshit Maharaj is receiving all this knowledge from Śukadeva Gosvāmī. So now our class begins on the Brahmā-vimohana-līlā. So far, what have we discussed? Parikshit Maharaj heard Aghāsura episode from Śukadeva Gosvāmī. But Śukadeva Gosvāmī said that all the Gopa boys narrated this Aghāsura pastime to their parents after 1 year. And that made Parikshit very curious. Parikshit thought, oh, why 1 year gap? I want to know more about it. Then our Śukadeva Gosvāmī is revealing. So Krishna, after killing Aghāsura, he showed all the Gopa boys the bank of Yamunā. He said, now let's go to the sandy beach of Yamunā. Let's sit there. Let's open our lunch bags, which our mothers have lovingly packed. Let's sit there and have lunch. So every day, Mother Yashoda prepares such beautiful, delicious meal for Krishna and packs it in a cloth bag and ties it to the end of Krishna's stick, Vetra. Krishna has a cowherding stick, right? So at the end of that stick, this lunchbox is hanging. So they are holding, like using gada. Warriors hold gada, right? So Gopas also hold the stick with a lunchbox hanging at the end. And all the Gopa boys take that lunch. But somehow, when they enter the forest, they are so absorbed in imitating peacocks. They are so absorbed in imitating frogs and monkeys. They are so absorbed in playing all kinds of games. They are also absorbed in decorating themselves with the newly grown leaves and flowers and fruits and birds on their turbans. Already their mothers have nicely bathed them and dressed them and decorated them. But one more shringar happens in the forest. So the Gopa boys collect all this small paraphernalia and they decorate themselves. And they decorate Krishna specifically. And they are absorbed in so many games throughout the day. But they forget to take lunch. But Prabhupada writes in the 13th chapter, somewhere in the beginning purports, that these Gopa boys, because they are so absorbed in playing with Krishna, somehow, by the influence of Leela Shakti, some demon comes there and interrupts those pastimes. And Krishna kills the demon. And after that, they remember, we have to take lunch now. Right? Otherwise, no lunch for them. They are so caught up in playing. So, Leela Shakti intrudes. Basically, in Vṛndāvana, something special happens. This is mentioned in Damodar Leela episode also, Trinavarta episode also. All the energies of Krishna are constantly surrounding Krishna in Vṛndāvana. They are there. And they are looking for an opportunity to serve Krishna, to assist Krishna in his pastimes. And whenever their involvement is required, whenever their service had an opportunity, immediately they intrude and do something. Apparently, you may think that Kamsa had sent Trinavarta, therefore Trinavarta came in the form of a whirlwind and he created disturbance in Vṛndāvana. But in reality, it is Krishna's Leela Shakti that allowed Trinavarta to enter Vṛndāvana. Why? Because Krishna had a desire. Yashoda Mata is speaking of little baby Krishna, 1-year-old baby Krishna, throwing him in the air and catching him. Throwing him in the air and catching him. Lalayanti. Then Krishna thought, Yashoda Mata is only throwing me into the air few feet above the ground level. I want to go higher and higher and higher in the sky. 800,000 miles high into the sky. And give my darshan to all the ladies in the heavenly planets. They also want to take my darshan. When Krishna desired like that, Trinavarta appeared. So Trinavarta's entrance into Vṛndāvana and Krishna's desire coincided. Just like Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says that Krishna desired to experience the mood of Srimati Radharani. Somehow, the time for establishing Yoga Dharma in Kali Yuga coincided with Krishna's desire. And Krishna descended as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? Similarly, Krishna had a desire to go high into the sky. Somehow Leela Shakti arranged that. Trinavarta comes there and takes him high into the sky. Trinavarta Airlines. So Trinavarta is Nimitta Matram. He is not an instrument in Kamsa's hands. He is an instrument in the hands of Krishna's desires. Similarly, you see, Krishna can make anyone as instrument. Demon or devotee, everybody is Krishna's instrument in one sense. Similarly, if you see, Krishna was made to sleep under the cart, household cart in Nanda Maharaja's home in the Utthana ceremony. In the Utthana ceremony, baby Krishna, 3-month-old baby Krishna was being carried by Mother Yashoda. Tam Raktambaram Kanakavarna Vibhushitangam. He was wearing red clothes. He has a tiger nail, Chandraharam, moon necklace in his neck. And Yashoda Mata is attending to the guests. She is very absorbed in the ceremony. And all the Brahmanas are reciting mantras. And Krishna is yawning. So many mantras. So many Vedic chants. He was yawning. Then immediately our Yashoda Mata picked up Krishna and slowly took him to the courtyard and made him sleep under the cart. And she also slept along with Krishna for a while, and she ensured that Krishna is happy and comfortable sleeping, and she got up and she went to attend the guests. Then, after some time, Krishna opened his eyes, and as soon as his infants open their eyes, they need to see their mothers right next to them. If the mothers are not there, they cry. And Krishna was crying, and Yashoda Mata is unable to hear because there are so many festivities of Utthana ceremony. So Krishna thought, my voice is not reaching Mother Yashoda's ears. I need a bigger sound. So I need to make a louder sound that reaches Mother Yashoda's ears. And that's the moment Utkacha demon came there. Śukadeva demon came there and he entered the cart. And because of the entrance of this ghost demon into Śukadeva, into the handhold cart, the cart became heavy and it started coming down. And as it is natural for infant babies to throw their hands and legs into the air when they are crying, Krishna also was throwing his hands and legs into the air, and with a gesture of a kick, he touched that cart. Cart was coming down to fall on Krishna and kill him, but Krishna was throwing his feet into the air, and the tender pravala-like feet of Krishna touched the cart, and the cart overturned and fell there. Not here, not on him. The cart, he kicked the cart and the cart fell there. And that's how Śukadeva died. Right? So Śukadava's entrance into Vṛndāvana is not because of Kamsa's desire only. Apparently it seems like that. Because Krishna had a desire for Mother Yashoda's milk. Krishna desired Mother Yashoda's attention. Just to call Mother Yashoda to make a loud sound, Śukadeva died. Right? So Śukadava's death is a byproduct of Krishna's desire to see Mother Yashoda. And Trinavarta's entrance is instrumental to Krishna's will of going high into the sky. And when Krishna was missing Mother Yashoda, when Trinavarta took Krishna 800 miles high into the sky, There, Krishna started missing Mother Yashoda. Oh, Mother Yashoda, where is she? Where is she? Sometimes kids become very curious to explore things. They go out of mother's laps, they go here and there, they go little far from mother, and they realize, where is my mother? They can't see the mother, they become anxious, right? Krishna also became so anxious, 1-year-old baby. When Krishna became so anxious, that's where automatically the Shakti manifested in Krishna's body, and Krishna became as heavy as a mountain peak. When Trinavarta came, Krishna was as light as a feather, as a leaf, as a flower. Trinavarta could easily pick up Krishna and take him so high in the sky. But in the sky, when Krishna started missing Mother Yashoda, again Krishna's Shakti manifested in his body, and Krishna became as heavy as a mountain peak. And Trinavarta could not handle it. When you lift weight, if you can't hold it, you drop it, right? Trinavarta also wanted to drop Krishna. Initially, Trinavarta wanted to eat Krishna. That's why he took him there. He's a Purushada. But he wanted to drop Krishna. But Krishna, because he's an infant child, small child, when children are lifted up, sometimes they're happy, sometimes they're afraid also. They hold on to you very tightly, right? With a small grip like this. That's how Krishna held on to Trinavarta's neck so tightly like this. Trinavarta's eyes popped out of their sockets and he could not speak a single word. And that weight, he's carrying so much weight, he's unable to throw that weight. He's unable to carry also. It's so frustrating. So Trinavarta collapsed. Trinavarta Airlines collapsed. When an airplane takes off from an airport at some gate, at some terminal, what is the possibility of it getting crashed at the same gate, at the same terminal? But Trinavarta Airlines crashed in Vṛndāvana only, the same place where he took off. That too specifically on a big boulder, right next to all the Vatsalya Gopis who are lamenting in separation from Krishna. Because Krishna thought, I am missing my mother, not father. Right? Father is missing definitely, but mother is more important. I need to first give my darshan to my mother. I am missing my mother first. Because Krishna was missing his mother, Yashoda. Trinavarta collapsed on a big boulder right next to all the motherly gopis who are lamenting. Then Yashoda Mata came and took. So that's how Krishna's Shaktis, Krishna's energies are constantly surrounding Krishna and intervening whenever their services are required, but keeping quiet when the services are not required. when Yashoda Mata is trying to bind Krishna, she's trying her best, but Krishna had a different desire. What was the desire? I want to play. I want to steal butter. I want to play with my friends. I want to throw dirt in the beautiful rangolis made by those gopis in that home. I want to pinch those babies of these gopis. Like that, Krishna had a big itinerary planned for the whole day. He did not want to get bound. So, that Ichha Shakti of Krishna, that Satya Sankalpa Shakti of Krishna, called Vibhuti Shakti, and Vibhuti Shakti manifested in Krishna's belly, and Yashoda Mata is unable to bind. It's always 2 fingers short. But seeing Mother Yashoda stretching herself so much, getting so tired, Svamatu Husvinna Gatraya Visrasta Kabarasraja Drishtva Parishramam Krishna Kripayasit Svabandhane. Seeing Mother Yashoda, Krishna became compassionate. He became very kind. When Kripa Shakti of Krishna manifested, Kripa Shakti told, Vibhuti Shakti, out. Satya Sankalpa Shakti, stay there at the gate. When Kripa Shakti manifests, all other Shaktis have to go away. That's how all the Shaktis of Krishna are constantly present in Vṛndāvana, primarily to assist Krishna's pastimes and not to intervene unnecessarily. Now, every day, by the influence of Leela Shakti, some demon comes and Krishna kills the demon, and there's a lunch break for them. Krishna said, my dear friends, let's go on this Yamunā bank, sandy beach of Yamunā, and let's have our lunch there. And very beautiful shloka. Krishnasya Vishwak Pururaji Mandalayer Abhyananaha Fulla Drishovrajarbhakaha Sahopavishta Vipine Virejus Shatha yathamboruha karnikaya. Krishnasya Vishwak Pururaji Mandalai. Here, all the Gopas agreed with Krishna. Yes, Krishna, we are very hungry. We just entered Aghāsura's body. We came out. In fact, they all fell unconscious, dead, and Krishna revived them. And they all became very happy with Krishna's proposal. They all went and sat on the bank of the river, Yamunā. And how did they sit? They kept Krishna in the center. Krishna was kept in the center. And some Gopa boys came and formed a circle around Krishna. Small circle around Krishna. Some more Gopas boys came. They made a second circle around the first circle. Then some more Gopas, they formed a third circle around the second circle. Like that, there are tens and hundreds of concentric circles with Krishna in the center. And this looked like Krishnasya Vishwak Pururaji Mandalair Abhyananaha Fulladrusho Vrajarbhakaha. All these Vrajarbhakas, all these little Gopa boys, they're appearing like layers of petals in a lotus flower. And Krishna is the middle whole of that lotus flower. He is the center. All of them are around. Nobody wanted to occupy that center position. All these Gopa boys kept Krishna as the center, not only of their circles, but of their life. It's very symbolic. It's an important lesson for all of us. When we keep Krishna in the center of our lives, those who keep Krishna in the center of their lives will receive all pleasure and all protection from Krishna. What happens to these Gopa boys, we'll see very soon. But none of them wanted to sit in the center. Everybody wanted to keep Krishna in the center. Nobody's aspiring for that central position. The conditioned soul in this material world, for them, sitting in the center, they want to be the center of their lives. Everybody imagines their life to be a movie and they think they are the central character. We are the heroes. Even when they are watching a movie, they identify more with the hero more than the other characters. Right? So that's the self-centric nature of a conditioned soul. Whether we are practicing bhakti or not, even in our beginning stages or immature stages of sadhana bhakti also, there is a tendency to keep ourselves in the center. We think more about ourselves. So you want to purchase a pen, right? He gives you pen. You want to write something. You want to test whether the pen is working or not. Most likely, people write their own names with the pen to test whether the pen is working or not. They may scribble, but they write their names. They put their signature. It's working because it wrote my name nicely. So, but to come out of this self-centric nature, we need to chant Krishna's names. The more we chant Krishna's names, the more we are trying to keep Krishna in the center of our lives and put ourselves away from that center. Because Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the controller, proprietor, master, creator of the entire universe. But we think, in the conditioned state, we think that we are the controllers, we are the masters, we are the proprietors, we are the enjoyers. We think about ourselves. So to come out of that self-centric nature, we come out of that self-obsession, self-infatuation, self-centric nature, we need to chant more. The more we say Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, we are trying to keep Krishna in the center. We are acknowledging that He is greater than me. He is the enjoyer, I am not. He is the master, I am a servant. He is Vibhu, I am Anu. The more we are chanting, the more we are acknowledging Krishna's supremacy, Krishna's greatness, and we are trying to invite Krishna into the center of our lives. And coming out of that self-centered nature. So they kept Krishna in the center. Krishna looked like a beautiful whirl in the middle of hundreds and thousands of lotus petals. But the greater wonder here is not Krishna sitting in the center alone. What Krishna is doing while sitting in the center. He may face one direction, externally speaking. And the Gopas are in circle, right? In a circle, someone who is sitting in front of you can see you. So now, if I look like this, all these kids, can you see me? You will see my shikha. You will not see my face. But all these Gopa boys sitting, whether they are sitting in front of Krishna or on the right side of Krishna or left side of Krishna or behind Krishna or in the first circle or second circle or 10th circle or 20th circle, every single Gopa boy is getting the experience of seeing Krishna face to face and feeding Krishna with his own loving hands and being fed by Krishna's loving hands. This is the greatest opulence of Krishna. Yes, Krishna manifests his vibhutis, his powers, his influence, his opulence in creating this world, in maintaining this world, in destroying this world, in killing the demons, in giving Bhagavad Gita teachings, in giving Uddhava Gita teachings. But the greatest opulence of Krishna is manifested in his reciprocation with his devotees' love and affection. Because all these devotees, all the Gopa boys equally loved Krishna more than their own selves, Krishna wanted to reciprocate with every single one of them. So every single Gopa, whether they are sitting in front of Krishna or 10 meters away from Krishna or 20 meters away from Krishna, every Gopa boy is getting the same experience of seeing Krishna face to face. They are thinking, Krishna is seeing me only. Krishna is smiling at me only. Krishna is feeding me only. I am only feeding Krishna. Every Gopa boy is getting that experience. So Krishna's greatest opulence is manifested in his eagerness or obsession to reciprocate with the love and affection of his devotees. That's the greatest quality of Krishna. Bhakta vatsalyata. Aham bhakta paradhino hyasvatantra iva dvijaha sadhubhirgrasta hridayo bhaktair bhakta janapriyaha. Bhakta paradhino. Bhakta paradhina means I'm completely under the adhina, under the control, captivity of my devotees. It's not just Bhakta Vatsalyata. Bhakta Vatsalyata is at one level, where Krishna has affection for his devotees. But this is not Bhakta Vatsalyata. It is Bhakta Vashyata. Bhakta Paradhina. Bhakti Baddham. He is bound by the law of his devotees. Chinatsi ghoram yamapasha bandham. Bhinatsi bhimam bhava pasha bandham. Chinatsi sarvasya samasta bandham. Naivatmano bhakta kritam tu bandham. Naivatmano bhakta kritam tu bandham. Krishna cannot release himself from the bandha, from the bondage of affection of a devotee. Krishna could uproot the Yamalarjuna trees and liberate Nalakavara and Manigriva, but he could not release himself from the rope of Mother Yashoda's love. While being in a bound condition, he liberated Nalakavara and Manigriva. Right? The liberator in bondage. The bondage is bondage of affection, love. And he retains his ability to liberate us, but he has no ability to release himself from the bondage of affection of his devotees. This is Krishna's greatest opulence. In the Rasa Leela, Krishna expanded himself into hundreds and thousands of forms to reciprocate with the love and affection of every single gopi. And here, in one form only, in one form, Krishna is simultaneously reciprocating with the love and affection of all the Gopas. And very soon, as Brahmā-vimohana-līlā progresses, Krishna will take all those forms to reciprocate with the love and affection of their mothers, their fathers. We'll come to that point soon. At this moment, let's appreciate Krishna's eagerness to reciprocate with the love and affection of all the Gopa boys surrounding him. And these Gopa boys, they are keeping their lunch on leaves, on stones, in baskets, right? Not on golden plates or silver plates or other plates. Of course, that can also happen. But in forest, they are using some simple forest elements as their plates. They're taking food. And they are eating. And when a Gopa tastes some item that his mother has prepared and loves it so much, he will take it straight from his mouth and says, Krishna, this is so delicious. I want you also to taste it. Please try it, and puts it directly in Krishna's mouth. He doesn't ring a bell. He doesn't chant any mantras, Namo Brahmanya Devaya and all that. He doesn't close the curtain. He doesn't even put a tulsi leaf on this food. He directly takes it from his mouth and puts it inside Krishna's mouth. And Krishna is accepting this, right? So as this is happening in Bhuloka, something else is happening in Satyaloka, in the upper planets. All the devatas in the upper planets, they are appreciating Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's loving reciprocations with the Gopas, and they are making great sound that Krishna has killed Aghāsura. Even the devatas are also very much afraid of Aghāsura, and Krishna killed Aghāsura and liberated Aghāsura. That made the devatas become very, very happy, very excited. And all their exciting tumultuous sounds go up to Satyaloka. What happened to Satyaloka we will see later. But now these devatas, they are also taking darshan of how this Yagnabhuk is doing his balakeli. Let's recite this shloka. Bibhradvenum jathara pathayoh shringavetre cha kakshe. Vame panau mrishana kavalam tatphalanyangulishu. Tishtan madhye swaparisuhrudo hasayan narmabhisvair. Svarge loke mishati vibhuje yagna bhugbalakeli. Bibhradvenum jathara pathayoh shringavetre cha kakshe. Krishna has his flute, right? He tucked that flute between his dhoti and waist on the right side. And Shringe Vetre cha Kakshe Vama Panav. He took his buffalo horn and he tucked in on the left side. And also he was holding the stick on the left side. And Panav Murshana Kavalam Tatphalani Angulishu. He's holding this little curd rice in his hand. Not paneer fried rice or not biryani or Chinese rice. What is it called? Huh? Fried rice, not that. Simple curd rice. You know how Mother Yashoda packs curd rice for Krishna? She keeps rice. She pours milk into that rice. She takes little curd in her hands and sprinkles that curd in this mixture of milk and rice and packs it. By the time Krishna opens that bag in the afternoon, it becomes curd rice. Right? So Krishna takes that little curd rice in his hands and between his fingers, here, and here, probably, right? He keeps some little fruits, right? See, where is it? Vame pano mrshana kavalam tat phalani angulishu. He takes phala, he takes little fruits and keeps in between his fingers, and he eats little bit and he tops it up with some fruit piece. That's how he nicely relishes his lunch. Then Tishtan Madhye Swaparisuhrudo Hasayan Narmabhisvahi. Tishtan Madhye, he is in the center. As I said, Krishna is the center of this great assembly of Gopas. And while eating, he's enjoying so many jokes with the Gopas. Śrīla Prabhupāda writes in the 10th canto 13, purport, one purport. One bumblebee comes there and starts irritating Madhumangal. This Madhu, he is bothering another Madhu, Madhumangal. Then Krishna says, "Oh Madhu, oh bee, this friend of mine is not a cowherd boy. He's a Brahmana. What you are doing is Brahmana aparadh. Do you want to bother a Brahmana boy? You want to kill a Brahmana boy?" And all the Gopas laugh. You may not laugh so much, but that's the greatest joke Krishna cracked, and all the Gopas, hundreds and thousands of Gopas, they laugh so much because Krishna is teasing Madhumangal. Like that, so many such jokes. If you don't have lunch, in the lunch box of that boy, there is this item that this mother has packed, you go and pick up from there. Krishna prompts one Gopa to go and steal the lunch box of another Gopa. And this boy actually goes and steals. And that boy, the owner of that lunch box, he feels very, very anxious. Oh, give my lunch box first. And they start, exchanging hands. Then the first Gopa becomes very anxious. It's not sadism, by the way. It's just teasing, lovingly teasing each other. And of course, he gets it back. So like that, so many such loving, sweet, childish exchanges are going on. And the great devatas in the heavenly planets, oh, we have offered prayers to this Lord only to descend, to protect us. He is absorbed in Svargya Loke Mishati Vibhuje Yagna Bhuk Balakeli. Yagna Bhuk, when we have to offer something to him, we have to elaborately perform sacrifices. Svarga Lokavasis, Mahar Lokavasis, especially Tapo Lokavasis, Jana Lokavasis, they conduct elaborate sacrifices. Even Satya Lokavasis also, under Brahma's supervision, they conduct elaborate sacrifices, and the Lord, in the form of Yagneshwara, comes out of the sacrifices and he accepts them. And when Bhuloka sacrifice is happening, the Lord even doesn't manifest himself as Lord Yagneshwara also. He doesn't even manifest from the sacrificial fire. We have to assume that these sacrificial offerings reached him because we put in the fire. And that fire, Yagnakund, is like the mouth of the Lord. So when you put in the Yagnakund, the Lord will accept. Lord will not even personally see and acknowledge also. And all the devatas are thinking that this is the process of making an offering to the Lord through Yagnakund, through different kinds of offerings and mantras. And these boys are opening their mouth and biting half laddu and putting the remaining half laddu straight in Krishna's mouth. And they're surprised. And they're happy also. We have been offering prayers to this personality to descend. We went on the shore of the milk ocean and we were chanting Sahasrasirsha Purushaha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat Sabhomim Visvato Vritva Atyatishtat Dashangulam Purusha Evedagam Sarvam Yad Bhotam Yascha Bhavyam. Even then also the Lord does not manifest. He sends a SMS, wireless message to Brahma. And Brahma receives it in the mind and he makes an announcement without a mic. And devatas will understand and then they will go. And these boys, in the Aghāsura episode, Śukadeva Gosvāmī describes them like this. Kritapunya punjaha, shakam vijahruhu kritapunya punjaha. These boys are not ordinary boys. They must have done heaps of pious activities to get an opportunity to play with Krishna in Sakhya Rasa. And these heaps of pious activities are not ordinary rituals. They have done heaps of activities that are pleasing to Krishna. They are devotional activities. Piety is of two types. One is material punya, second is spiritual punya. Material punya, material piety takes us to the Svargaloka for a high grade enjoyment. But spiritual punya, spiritual piety, which is punya shravana kirtanaha, that takes us beyond the material universe itself. So they have done like that. Now they have this opportunity. Now Brahma comes there. Why? Brahma has been hearing tumultuous sounds in the upper planets. All these people are celebrating the glories of Krishna, the success of Krishna, the victory of Krishna over Aghāsura. And they're glorifying him, and all that glorification went up to Satyaloka, upper planets. Right? Brahma was surprised. Who is being glorified here? Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedaihi Sangapadakramopanisadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Navidursura Suraganaha Devaya Tasvai Namaha. Brahma, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, Shiva, Narada, all these great munis and suras, they come and glorify Krishna. Natasmate anatha sadangri pankajam virincha vairincha surendra vanditam parayanam kshemami hechatam param nayatra kalaha prabhavet para prabho. Even Brahma and all the great personalities created by Brahma, whether they are Brahmarshis or Rajarshis or Devarshis or Maharshis or Manus or Devatas, different categories of devatas, they come and offer obeisances to Krishna. And when these devatas are making tumultuous sounds, glorifying Krishna, that created a doubt in the mind of Brahma. Brahma sitting in the upper planets, in Satyaloka, in his swan carrier or on a lotus seat, whatever, he became bewildered. Oh, who is that personality being glorified? Oh, there's one little boy, 6-year-old child in Vṛndāvana. He killed Aghāsura. Really? Let me go and see. And Brahma descended And what's happening on the bank of Yamunā? Brahma is seeing from the sky. This boy, Krishna, is sitting in the middle of hundreds and thousands of Gopas and eating their jhota, eating their remnants. Absolutely no formalities. This is not the way any deity worship manual is being made. You can put food from your mouth into Krishna's mouth. And Brahma was bewildered. Is this the boy? Is he the one? Is he the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Did he kill Aghāsura? Let me test him once. See? Let me test him once. Very important point here. When we prematurely or immaturely enter into the most intimate leelas of Krishna, which he performs in Vṛndāvana, without sufficiently getting equipped with the greatness of Krishna as described in the initial 9 cantos of Bhagavatam, there is a possibility of misunderstanding them. There is a possibility of seeing Krishna as ordinary. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam takes every care that we don't become sahajiyas. Even in the most confidential secret love letter written by Krishna to the gopis of Vṛndāvana, which is carried by Uddhava personally, there is a philosophical discussion. Therefore, we need to constantly remember Krishna's greatness even while discussing Krishna's sweet pastimes. Otherwise, we may consider him as ordinary. In the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, such sweet pastimes of Krishna are described, but every pastime is nicely balanced with philosophy, and Śukadeva Gosvāmī, Vyasadeva ensure that we remember Krishna's greatness while discussing those pastimes of Krishna, which are filled with sweetness. Otherwise, when we discuss very exalted subject matters, we may think we are on that level, consciously or unconsciously. Right? We may think we are overqualified. Or this subject matter is not meant for me. This simple pastimes, initial 9 cantos, these are not meant for me. I am ready for this big blow of direct Krishna's Vrajalilas. Yes, we can discuss. Prabhupada gave us Krishna book. But in Krishna book, which is a summary of 10th canto, there is 1st canto also. There is 2nd canto also. There is 3rd canto also. Prabhupada narrated all the sweet pastimes of Krishna with sufficient philosophical discussion throughout. And even Śukadeva Gosvāmī narrated with sufficient philosophical discussions. Even when he is describing Damodar Leela, where Mother Yashoda is binding Krishna. See, the second half of entire chapter of Damodar Leela is filled with majestic descriptions. Very majestic descriptions. He spoke that Krishna is Nachantar na bahiryasya na purvam na pichaparam. Yashoda Mata is trying to bind that Lord who has no inside, who has no outside. Nachantar na bahiryasya na purvam na pichaparam. Even when Śukadeva Gosvāmī is presenting this sweet lila of Putana, there, my God, Padbhyam bhakta hridistabhyam vandyabhyam loka vanditaihi angam yasyaha sabakramya bhagavanapi tatstanam yatu dhanyapi sasvarga bhavapa janani gatim Krishna bhuktastana kshiraha kimugavo numataraha. We may not get into all these deeper descriptions at this moment, but the essential point I wanted to make is Śukadeva Gosvāmī narrated sweet Vṛndāvana pastimes of Krishna, nicely balancing with them with a description of Krishna's majesty. There is a philosophical discussion. Throughout Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, constant philosophical discussion went on. Because when the intimate loving exchanges of Krishna with the Vrajavasis is being described, even Brahma could get bewildered. What to speak of us? Brahma considered Krishna as an ordinary boy, at least for a moment. Right? Brahma considered Krishna ordinary. What to speak of us? Okay, let me share one more thing. Once, Narada Muni was doing a podcast. This time with Hanumān, not with Krishna. So Narada Muni glorified Hanumān. Hanumān, you are the greatest devotee of the Lord. Then Hanumān said, no, I am not the greatest devotee. Pandavas are the best devotees. Go and meet them. Because Pandavas are so glorious. I only served Lord Ramachandra in so many ways. But Pandavas, They are being served by Krishna in so many ways. Right? Hanumān served Ram, but Krishna served Pandavas. Not that Hanumān has a desire to receive service from Rama or Krishna. Hanuman's point is that Pandavas are very intimately connected to Krishna, so much so that Krishna also engages in their service. Sārathya pārishada sevana sakhya dautya vīrāsanānugamanastavana pranāman snigdheshu pandushu jagat pranatim cha vishnor bhaktim karoti nrpatis charanaravinde. Sarathi, as a chariot driver, as a watchman, as a glorifier, as a Sarathya Parishad, as a court attendant, Sevana as a servant, Sakhya as a friend, Dautya as a messenger. Krishna did so many menial services to the Pandavas. So they are better devotees. And Hanumanji glorifies Pandavas like anything. Although Pandavas went through so many tribulations, they never lost their faith in Krishna. They are the greatest devotees of Krishna. When Hanumanji glorified Narada Muni, like glorified Pandavas in front of Narada Muni, Narada Muni said, yes, let's go to Hastinapur. Hanuman said, I will also come with you. Hanuman said, Narada Muni, you and me, together, two brahmacharis, will go to Pandavas and have a podcast with them and discuss with them. So, and Narada Muni said that, okay, let's go together. Hanuman said, no, I will not come with you. What happened? You changed your mind in 2 minutes? Yes, I changed my mind. I will not come with you. You go alone. Narada Muni is asking, why are you not coming with me, my dear Hanuman? Then Hanuman said, now Krishna is displaying some very intimate exchanges with his devotees, the Pandavas. Krishna's dealings with the Pandavas are little informal. They are very intimate. They are not very reverential. Me, as a sevak of Ram, I am accustomed to reverentially serving Lord Ramachandra and dealing with him very formally and reverentially, respectfully. But Pandavas sometimes pull the legs of Krishna. They joke with Krishna. And Krishna also cracks jokes on them. When I see such very intimate, informal, loving exchanges between Pandavas and Krishna, I may misunderstand Krishna. I may misunderstand the Pandavas. I am happy with reverence. I don't want to get into intimacy. What to speak of me? I am just a forest monkey. Your own father got bewildered. Brahma got bewildered. Seeing Krishna's intimate, loving exchanges with the Gopa boys, your father Brahma got bewildered. He misunderstood. He wanted to even test Krishna. What to speak of your father? You are also bewildered, right? Admit. Narada Muni, once he wanted to test how Krishna is doing his household life with 16,108 queens. Huh? You went everywhere, right? Everywhere you are humbled. Yes. Don't remind me all that now. So, without sufficient purification of consciousness, without sufficiently equipping ourselves with an understanding of Krishna's majesty, Krishna's greatness, if we directly jump into the intimate leelas of Krishna with the Vrajavasis, we may misunderstand them. Even Brahma was bewildered. Narada Muni was bewildered. Hanumān was very careful. He's very smart. Let me not get bewildered. Therefore, there is no Hanumān-Vimohana-līlā. So Hanumān is respectful, reverential. Let me stick here. But we can read, but balancing it with philosophy. That's why in Damodara Ashtakam, Satyavartamani begins with Namam Ishwaram Sachidananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Bhrajavanam. Why Namami Ishwaram? Why suddenly Ishwara comes there? Such simple, loving, sweet pastime between a mother and son is coming, and suddenly Ishwara. And this boy is crying here. Krishna is crying here. Rudantam muhurnetra yugmam mrijantam. He's crying, and Satyavartamani says that Namami Ishwaram. Oh Krishna, you are Ishwara. We need Ananda Rupam. He's crying and he says Ananda Rupa. He's speaking lies and he says the absolute truth. So, point is, that we should not forget Krishna's majesty while discussing Krishna's sweetness. We need to balance, right? Krishna's form in Vṛndāvana is characterized by sweetness, simplicity, and innocence. But Krishna at other places, the form of Krishna at other places is characterized by majesty, grandeur, opulence. Yes, we need to discuss Krishna's pastimes of majesty, grandeur, and opulence. Then we will be able to rightly appreciate Krishna's pastimes of sweetness, simplicity, and innocence. If one directly jumps into the pastimes of Krishna's sweetness, simplicity, and innocence, then there is a possibility of getting bewildered like Brahma. Like Brahma. So Brahma is bewildered, thoroughly bewildered, seeing the sweet exchanges. And it's not that he didn't even see the Madhurya pastimes. He only saw Gopas feeding their remnants to Krishna's mouth and Krishna feeding his remnants to Gopa. Seeing that, Brahma thought, let me test. Let me test. What did Brahma do? He has stolen all the calves. And when the Gopa boys sat for lunch, Krishna said, let our little calves eat grasses on the bank of Yamunā. Let them play there. They will have their lunch, we will have our lunch. Right? They are happily grazing on the grasses there, soft grasses on the bank of Yamunā. And suddenly, these calves, Prabhupada writes, they are allured by green grasses, soft grasses, and they went deeper and deeper into the forest. Apparently. But in reality, Brahma had stolen them. Why? Brahma became very mischievous. He wanted to test Krishna. This same Brahma, once Narada Muni was having a podcast with Brahma in the second canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. He said, the same Brahma said that, see his loyalty, see his humility. Na bharati venga brushopalashyate. Na bharati venga brushopalashyate. Na vaikvachinme manaso brushagati. Na me hrishikani patantya satpathe. Yanme hridautkantyavata dhruto harihi. Brahma says, na bharati menga mrushopalakshyate. Bharati means words, right? Na bharati menga mrushopalakshyate means Brahma says, my dear Narada Muni, my words can never go wrong. I can never speak anything untruthful. I cannot make any false statements. Whatever I say is correct. Right? This is about words. Second, navaikvachinme manaso mrushagatihi. Now he speaks about the mind. Earlier he said, my words can never go wrong. Now he flips the word and says, my mind can never go wrong. I can never think of anything wrong. Then third, name hrishikani patantya satpathe. My hrishikas, my senses can never traverse a wrong path. My senses can never do anything wrong. Whatever I say, whatever I do, whatever I speak is correct. He is not saying it out of arrogance. He is saying it out of his humility. Because he understands that the accuracy of my thoughts or actions or words is because I have taken Krishna's lotus feet with great zeal into my heart. Is it clear? Yanme hrida utkantyavata dhruto harihi. Yanme hridi utkantyavata dhruto harihi. I have accepted the lotus feet of Lord Hari with great zeal in my heart. Because of my devotion to Lord Krishna, I am able to speak something truthful. I am able to do something which is meaningful. I am able to think of something which is useful. That same Brahma who had so much of submissiveness, who had so much of loyalty and surrender to Krishna, is doing something wrong. He's speaking something wrong. He's thinking of something wrong. He wanted to test Krishna. He wanted to test Krishna's godhood. So bewilderment can happen at any point. to anybody. We can never be overconfident. So Brahma wanted to steal the calves of Krishna, and he actually stole. And all the Gopas, they became very anxious. They looked in the direction where the calves are happily eating their grasses, and suddenly the calves are missing. And Brahma and all the Gopa boys looked in the direction. They felt a little fearful, frightened, anxious. Where are our calves? Where are our calves? And you know what Krishna did? My dear Gopas, please don't interrupt your lunch. Let me get up. Krishna is still holding that curd rice in his hands with fruits between his fingers. He did not finish his meal, but he interrupted his own meal so that his friends can continue their meal. You please continue your meal. Let me just go and search for the calves. When we surrender to Krishna, when we keep Krishna in the center of our lives, Krishna takes full responsibility of our maintenance, of our protection. He will own our anxieties. Right? That's what Krishna is demonstrating here. My dear friends, you continue to eat your lunch, you enjoy your lunch, you don't interrupt your lunch. I will go and search for the calves. Maybe they must have gone a little deeper into the forest, allured by grasses. Let me go and find them out. So Krishna left. Krishna got up. For that, Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, right? Yogakshemam vahamyaham. For Yogakshemam vahamyaham to happen, we need to do three things. What are they? Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janaha paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Ananyas chintayanto mam. All the Gopa boys, they are ananyas chintayanto mam. Their mind is absorbed in Krishna's thoughts. Yejanaha paryupasate. Their upasana is paryupasana. They did perfect worship of Krishna, perfect service of Krishna. And they are not doing it once in a while, not occasionally or intermittently. Tesham nitya abhiyuktanam. They are constantly engaged in the service of Krishna. When we constantly think of Krishna, when we perfectly worship Krishna, and when we do it consistently, not intermittently, regularly, then yogakshemam vahamyaham. Many times people say, yogakshemam vahamyaham, why Krishna gave a promise and he's not fulfilling? I have so many financial crises here, so many health problems here. Why Krishna is coming to fulfill his promise of yogakshemam vahamyaham? Is it really true? Or just a formality or a poetic expression? No. Are we doing our part? Are we doing ananyas chintayanto mam yajanaha paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam? Then Krishna will do yogakshemam vahamyaham. He demonstrated here. My dear boys, you continue to take lunch. I will go and search for the calves. It's my responsibility. Your anxiety is my responsibility. When Krishna went out to search for the calves, something even more surprising has happened. What is that? We will see tomorrow.